my ma and me, except there's old Zeb Go and an old dog named Blue. Well, I got so mad that I run and hid, but that wasn't the dumbest thing that I ever did. Before I left, I stepped in a big pile of poo. Well, I really thought it was quite a joke, and I got a lot of laughs from lots of folk. I couldn't get the poo off my shoe. Some guy would smell it and I'd turn red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy with a shoe full of poo. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fist got hard and my shoe turned green. I roamed from town to town to hide my shame, but I made a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the streets, under cars, and find that dog in which that awful poo came. Well, it was somewhere in Washington around mid-July. I just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have a Coke or two. At an old dog park on a street of mud, with its leg hacked up, peeing good, stood the dirty mangy dog that dropped that awful poo. Well, I knew that dog once belonged to my old sweet dad, from a worn out picture that my mother had. Knew that scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and hairy and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold. And I said, "Hey, Blue, how do you do? Get ready to die." Yeah, that's what I told him. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down. But to my surprise, he come up like Tyson and bit off a piece of my ear. Then I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the fence and into the street, kicking and a gouging in the mud, the blood and the tears. Well, I tell you, if that dog had fought tougher men, I bet he couldn't remember when I kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. Well, I heard him growl and I tried not to cuss, and I reached for my gun, but I got bit first. He stood there looking at me and I started to smile. And I said, "Blue, and this world is rough, and if a dog's gonna make it, he's gotta be tough. I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along, so I took you to the pound and I said goodbye. And I knew you'd have to get tough or die, and that's what helped to make you strong." I said, "Now you just fought one heck of a fight, and I know you hate me, and you got the right to bite me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But I'm gonna kick you and say goodbye, maybe kick you in the tail and spit in your eye, 'cause I'm the son of a gun that stepped in your stinking poo." What could he do? Well, I got all choked up and I spit out my gum. We licked each other right on the tongue. We come away with a different point of view. I thinks about him every now and then, every time I cry now and again. And I'll tell you, if I ever have a dog, I think I'll call Bill, George, Tom, anybody else to step in that awful poo.